recording started. Stop transcript. Okay. I don't know if I mentioned it. I mentioned it so many times, but here we have what's called, you can kind of see the IFC mode. It's semi-alive. It's an ArchiCAD mode. We only checked against ArchiCAD. So we haven't checked it against like, what's the other one called? Allplan. Not against Allplan, not against TechCloud. We only have sat down with Graphisoft and kind of cooperated with them. But we didn't want to write ArchiCAD mode, so we wrote IFC. We don't want to promote having their name because we're Autodesk reseller. We don't want to have it in here, so we called IFC. It works literally the same. When you enable it, you can kind of see a bunch of different IFC characters or icons. Those work with IFC. So for instance, dense compartment does not work with IFCs, for instance, because the data on the components are, because when we do Revit oversimplified, we check the wall, if the wall has things hosted to it, what objects are hosted to it, etc., etc. With IFC, there are not those connections, so we don't really have that one. So, but you can turn IFC mode on and off, and everything with a red has work with ArchiCAD, like an IFC for ArchiCAD, if you turn this on. What we did, I'm going to mention it, you can see all the slots here don't have the red one, kind of here, and that is just a graphical thing, because we tried it first with like a red IFC in these small icons. It was too small, so we said, okay, just put it on the settings, and that will symbolize, because it looked horrific graphically when we had it on every small one. So we just said, okay, have it on settings, and we will explain it rather. But otherwise, you can see what works and not work with IFC mode. Oh, and that is ArchiCAD mode. So don't grab a Tekla model and assume it would work. I haven't tried it like full extent. It worked with some walls that I tried on, but I don't guarantee anything. But because basically, depending which software we export IFC from, the length, height, etc., are in different places in the IFC to create those volumes. So that's kind of the background of it. I can mention as well, if I go here and jump in here, in support files here in Naviate, and I go down here to FAQ. When we're working with IFC as well, with Revit, we have 0 requirements of the architect, as I mentioned. They can work the same way as they do. They can do things that are easier or better for us, but we have no requirement. The tool will work completely of itself. With ArchiCAD, we have a few 100% requirements and a few like, okay, do this to get an IFC that looks good in Revit. So basically everything we do is based on Revit. So here we got a article called everything with IFC has put in with IFC in brackets in the beginning, so you can kind of see which those are. And here we got what's called ArchiCAD requirements, and that is kind of, okay, this is how the export settings should look like. Remember these. We recommend things, why you should do certain things. And I try to show with pictures why. So this is something you can just copy, paste, and send to an architect with the link, or you want to put in your own email. We got like literally guides of do this and this is why, so you can follow those. Yeah, and here as well, kind of workflow when you're working with IFC. Step by step, we have it here. So it's a few other things that we need to think of when we're working on IFCs. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that off. But yeah, working with IFC and Revit, why at least for Janos and Laura, it creates another level of difficulties because you need to understand cross-platform, which is we don't have to throw you to the wolf in the beginning, because it's not easy. Even like senior Revit users are not perfect in that, and there's gaps, and You need to think of other things to make the cooperabilities work better. Okay, with that said, let's create a horizontal compartmentation. So we jump into a level. That's the easiest way. And what we can do, or what we will do, is basically like this. We will use floors to create our horizontal compartmentation. And when we are doing that, we can use an architect or a structural floor as a quote unquote base, meaning if we're lucky, we can kind of, if they update something, we can update it as well. As meaning moving shafts, staircases, we get those warnings. So we're going to do that, at least try. And in this case, I kind of already took a look on the models, obviously. I will go through it with you as well, and we will see why. So we can go into a 3D view first. We go to a 3D view, and we will show the entire model. And you can turn, if you have a section box on, like this ticked, you can untick it and apply, and we'll see the entire thing. This is something I use quite often, and that is called temporary view properties, where we have down here, just to the right of the light bulb. You have the glasses, you have the light bulb, and then you have, I think it looks like an old camera roll, but in the very bottom of every view, down here, we can enable this temporary view properties. You will get a border, a purple border around the view, showcasing it as temporary view properties. What we can do with this are that we can actually change a lot of things with the view, like what we see, and we can roll back from this point when we started. So we can change a lot of things, scale what we see, turn things on and off, we can color things, and when we roll it back, it will kind of go back to this point, how it looks like. That's why I kind of like it to quickly jump in, change something, roll back. So we change what we see. So I want to go into visibility and graphic override. So Victor in the keyboard shortcut, and we get this one. I want us to turn off every model category except floors, so we can see only floors. And we can quickly go to either select floors and select invert. It's going to select everything else. Or if you're more lazy and you don't see the categories you want, now floors is kind of up front here, but if it's something else, I usually just go all, turn everything on, and then I go scrolling down to the one that I want to turn on. But otherwise, so select floors, invert, click on visibility, and it will untick everything except floors, and we can go on OK. And now we see only floors in our view. And it doesn't matter, it kind of looked like this. In my view, I see that I don't see the structural model. So I will go back to visibility and graphic override, Victor. I go to Revit links, and I go to structural model or existing model. So I will turn that on again. And we can kind of see that it is here just below, if I zoom in here, just below the architect model. And if you use our tab keys, we can hover above the floors from the structure model. If you zoom in, we can kind of select the floors and kind of see, okay, but it looks like the correct one. We can use this one as the one we want to use to create our horizontal compartmentation. And I also can see if I select these different ones, we can directly see here in properties, thickness. In properties here. It's grayed out because this is what's called, first and foremost, it's actually it's a linked object, so everything's always going to be gray. But the thickness here, we will see it in a second. It's called a reporting parameter. So it just reports how the floor is built up, and it will kind of showcase on that thickness. You can even see here kind of naming convention, but we can kind of see the different thickness, and it looks like there are two kind of floors, 280 and 250. Once again, this is kind of just, I do like this. We will probably find more when we do like go through everything, but this is good enough here. And how we want to do it is that we actually want to do the same copy monitor with the structural floors in this case, because they are here and they are larger. If we zoom in, we can kind of see all the architecture floor, which is just around or inside the rooms. We don't want to use those. We want to use something that goes around the entire building. We can manually draw if we want, but I'm going to do the copy monitor. So with that said, okay, we know this is the structural one we want to see. So we can go back into visibility and graphic override. Victor, go to the tab Revit Links and turn off the architect model. It just makes it easier for us to not mistakenly try to copy something from the architect model, but from the structural model. Okay. So now we only see the floors from the structural model. I don't even remember I said this. It's Friday. So why we're doing it is because we want to see if they change something. I think I said it, but that is why we're using the copy monitor. And we go to collaborate, copy monitor, select link, and select the kind of one of the lines. And we will jump into this dialog box and copy monitor. If you had missed it, it just dies, and we need to go back to collaborate, copy monitor, and select link again. If you're not, if you select it, you will go into copy monitor. Okay. Here we got two options. I have already prepared the model with different floors for each and every one of the categories that are mostly used. The issue with floors are that the thickness of the floors are set on type, meaning we need to have one type for every floor thickness. So we could duplicate the existing ones that we have to several ones, so we have the same material, or same material and same coarse fill pattern. Or what I usually do is, I think it's faster, at least in my head, I think it's faster. What I do is I actually copy the floors that they are using and then changing the type. I don't know if it's faster or slower, but that is what I usually do. So how I think we will do both. We can do it. So if you go here to options and copy monitor, here we can see every category we can copy monitor, which are the 5 categories of levels, grids, columns, walls, and floors. We jump to floors. On the left-hand side are all the different floor types in that model. Right-hand side is my default floor compartmentation. Just for fun, you can select one row, and in the drop-down, you can see that I've kind of created different kind of requirements for structural floors. But if in the very top, you can see copy original type. If you scroll here in the drop-down. So we can select the first one and actually the last one and say, if I copy, I want to copy original type. I need to maybe select not the top one, maybe something in the middle. I think the graphics, copy original type. It didn't want to it wouldn't let me go all the way up. But if you select something in the middle, copy original type, and then we can press OK. So we will start with this. We can still play around.
Objection by honor.
Yeah.
The 150 millimeter foundation slab is just not gonna get an original type.
Yeah. Could be that way as well, because it's Yeah. Yep. To be honest, I think we can do not copy this one.
All right.
Yeah, foundation slab. Yeah. So we can ignore it. Good. That's good that you saw it. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about it. Uh, okay, so how it works right now, we can go to copy, and normally I would say do multiple. We will ignore multiple. We will do a few, so you can kind of see. Um, Doing horizontal takes quite a lot of time. I'm gonna be honest. Um, so I like usually say push this as far as like push it as far as possible. It's nothing wrong to do certain ones that you know, okay, here's a very specific one. We can't miss this one. Uh, if you do like in a Swedish context, it would be you're building a residential building, there's a garage under it, maybe a park above the garage. It would be like a higher requirement on the garage, under the playgrounds and whatnot. So like, oh, we can do those very fast. But then as you go up into the residential buildings, would be no, but this is 60 minutes all the way up, and just wait doing those because it's no rush, and it takes a lot of time, more time than you would think. But go with copy, and I will just copy this one. Click on it, and it will copy this one. We get a warning, line slightly off axis, blah, blah, blah. And that means uh, basically they have drawn something not, I think it's 0.01 degrees off axle. So if there's like 90.01 degrees slightly off, it's like they haven't really drawn it vertically or orthogonally so it sounds slightly off somewhere. We can ignore it as is two of those warnings here. We can press escape twice to stop copying it. But now we can actually select the same slab that they have, like, or select a copy of their slab that we can see here. We managed to just click and escape twice, so we just can select this. Janos and Lara? Brilliant. The next thing I usually do when I do this is I actually adjust the volume of this slab. As I mentioned, now we can see these reporting parameters. We can't change it because it just reports the total thickness, what we have assigned or what they have assigned. What I usually do is I change this one, and I actually change the thickness with usually 2 millimeters. So if I go here into edit type, and we have here all the different materials, and I can go here, structure, and here I got my structure, like how they built the slab itself. It's a concrete slab, very straightforward, reinforced. Okay, so it's 280 millimeters thick. I usually want it 2 millimeters thinner because I don't want this to be visible in the floor plan. So if the concrete and our, I want to put our 1 millimeter lower, which means it will be hidden by the concrete slab. And that 1 millimeter doesn't really exist in reality. And that means the same from the bottom itself as well. So I want 1 millimeter from on top and 1 millimeter from bottom. That's basically. So I usually change this then to 278. And then I know, okay, this should be on 90 minutes. We know what it is. If we don't know, we can just put a default, but I know it's 90 minutes, and I'm going to follow the Swedish one, which is the compartmentation for blue. I had the blue color. So we can go here and change material for the blue. Change it here, and I know it's the blue one, which means it's going to be this one. This is something this is kind of tricky. It's more of how familiar are with the standards in different regions. But if you don't remember, it's fine. You can always go and check. If I know, like, oh, this is going to be 2 hours. What was 2 hours? Okay, ignore the material right now. We can change it later. But we can do it. I know I'm going to do it right now. And I know now that it's 0184 128 255. So I can press OK. OK. Coordination alert. Thickness has been changed. It's completely OK. To make it visible in sections, so when we do a section, to see this blue, we need to have a coarse fill pattern. This is going to override the look of the architect and structural model, so we will see it. So we want to add a scale filter, fill pattern till solid, always solid, solid fill. And we can change the color to 0, 128, 255. And we can go OK. And OK. And we can, so we can see right now, we got this kind of glimmering blue on this concrete. What we want to do is lower it by -1 millimeter. Not a warning about this. Now it's kind of disappears. So select the floors and height offset from level -1. This means that we don't get this kind of shivering look of material on the same level. We just hide it. And in reality, those 1 millimeter on top and bottom, no one will see it. No clash detection software will care. It's so thin. If it's 1 millimeter, still like well within the rule sets that you have. Like no one can build 1 millimeters when you do this either way. Okay, so we're done. Almost the most tricky part. We're done, quote unquote, the easy one. So next time we copy something, copy. We can change, escape twice. We can change this one to the first one, -1. And we get another warning. We get the second one. So we can easily now do copy, select something, grab it, move it down, and change it. Because we kind of done all the work from it, of the 280. The tricky thing now are, you don't have to do it. I will just do it to showcase. I'm going to grab our floor and isolate it. The question now is, if I do like this, where should we have openings? Where should we have all these kind of things? Like, how should we see it? I just isolated one of the floors. This is going to be the most difficult parts when we're working with this. I'm going to turn this on again. So how we do this the easiest are same way as we did with this the schedule. Go to view, close inactive, and open a floor plan that we want to work on. I'm going to check this one was level 1. So I'm going to go to level 1, close inactive, under view, closing active, level 1, side by side by going to view, tile windows, and finalize with modify floor and edit boundary. Here we're going to have a challenge. As you can see here, we can kind of see how the structure engineer has drawn their floors. It is not at all perfect, to say the least. Here we can do, to be honest, maybe we can do it in two ways, depending on the floors. And this is like, there is no clear-cut answer. Sometimes it's easier to delete all the sketches and do your own. Like if you say like, I would say it's, for instance, here, like, okay, I don't want it to go like this ziggy-zaggy. Maybe delete all these and trim all the way here. And I want it like this, like trim the U over here. That is fine. And this is not an easy thing to kind of figure out what is what. And you kind of going around, you can select the walls in the architect models, you can create your own openings and doing all those things. I'm gonna do mine, I'm gonna sheet and kind of just be lazy and draw something here, kind of correct it. Not at all the level of accuracy that you might use, or you level of accuracy that you should use, but you can kind of go around fixing and taking the time. It's going to take time. What you can do, because we are copying every one level, because we're copying every floor, like one by one, they're connected to each and every one. And if you change one, we probably want to change the same layout on several. What we can do before finishing, we can select all the lines, copy to clipboard, and paste those sketches in the next level. So we kind of draw, copy the sketch lines, and we can copy paste within the sketches, each and every one of those. I will let you guys play around a little bit, like very strange. Like I wouldn't do like this at all. Maybe trim those once, and like that. Look, I'm gonna leave this shaft. That's fine. I'm glad with those. I'm happy with those. I'm happy with those. Yeah. So kind of like this. Just for a laugh. I'm gonna do one of these as like, okay, here it should be open. This one should be open. No requirement in that shaft. But everything around it should have a requirement. Everyone managed to do this? Ish, something. Yeah. This takes time. I promise you. That's why this is one of the most time consuming, because now we are literally in the nitty gritty of where should this be? You need to check. This was level 1. I would have to check what is on level what's on this floor plan. And like, maybe something went out under here. We need to check because we are between level 4 plan and level 1. That is the slab we are looking at. So we need to kind of look what's above us and below us and yada, yada, yada. So like, did I miss something here? We need to have something here, for instance. I could see that in my level 1. So if there's a fire here, what is on my level 1, it would be here. So it would be a fire here. That's why I would maybe need a fire stopper here. Or make this one fire safe. Because I can go to level 1 or entry level. A fire here would be here. How do we do it? I can kind of see this and kind of play around. I will leave this open as it is for now. But you do this one by one, level by level. Once again, start with it like this is a high. If there's a higher one in a certain place, early stage, do it there. And later on, you can kind of finalize it for the rest of the models. But once we feel we're happy, we go to finish editing mode. We get a new kind of warning. There are sketches are different, and we're fine with that. And when we are finished, we can go to finish. So we copied. In my case, I copied just 2. I can even right now actually go in here, select this one, the bottom one. I can copy all the boundaries If I know the next one that I copied, this one should be the same, I can edit that one, delete all those, paste, select the level was level 2. I have the exact same boundary that I had on the one below because I copied the lines within a sketch. Sketch line to sketch line, finish, and I get that. I got every time here a lot of warnings from that they are different. They are different thickness now. They are different elevation. So we are working and we're getting tons and tons of warnings of those coordination reviews. So when we feel like, okay, we're done, there's nothing wrong having those. I hate them, but there's nothing wrong. You get a notification every time you start Revit, and it will tell you, "Ooh, something happened. Are you sure?" But what I usually do, or tell everyone to do, you should do, before you kind of roll back, select the link that we're copying the floors from. In this case, the structural model. Select it. We go to this coordination review that we did with levels to adjust those. But all we need to do here is we can expand all these and say, except different. Because we copied the level, we copied the floor from the structural model or architect model. We adjusted so it looks good for us. We change thickness, maybe change elevation. We do a lot of things. But now we can say except difference, meaning they will now start taking a look at from this point now, if something changed when we said, now it's fine. If they change something from here on, we will get a notification. Except difference, no warnings, everything's fine. We've made our own thing. The last thing all we need to do is, sadly, yeah, call sadly, that we need to enter a rating on our walls. I said this was REI 90, so we have a parameter here, firing floor. It's not automatically. We just changed the look. So when we copied it and we changed the blue and the material to whatever requirement we want, all we're going to be doing is we're setting up the look, the graphics for it. But the data point is added automatically. With the existing families, where we are building what's called loadable families, I do a lot of formulas saying, if you choose that, this is the result. If you choose this should be the result. What I'm doing when we're doing the horizontal, because we are kind of manually doing it, we need to manually write the parameter here as well. Once it's done, we can always now just create a section right through the model, going to view, section, maybe way too fast, I'm gonna go back. View, section, just below view, and you just click twice straight through the model. 1, 2, I'm gonna create a section through here, and it's gonna appear under new views, sections, section 2, and here we got it. Just going through it, turn the crop off. But here we got our horizontal compartmentation. We can make it not 28 meters, but maybe 1 meter. And we can got it like this. And everything as we have done will be visible. We can even go to annotate, tag category, and we can kind of select that floor slab and kind of move it here if we want. We can go here. And we can create like this. And if something changed, it should be a 60. Should change, obviously, material, but you can change that. We can kind of play ball with it. This is one of the most complicated things you can do. So don't worry. This is something repetition, repetition, repetition. I would say 95% of people who get lost within this education of doing this are the horizontal. Because these sketches, we're going to use in 3D, we're going to need floor plan, what is what. We can't have open loops and everything like that when you do sketches. So don't be like terrified or if you didn't follow. And we got off obviously here with the architect, sorry, with the 3D model. We did the temporary view properties. If you go here and in the very bottom, you have restore. Then we can roll back and like, how does it look like with the architect model and everything on? It looks like this. Kind of back. So we can literally just turn this on and then start playing around, roll back. We're back to square one, which is really nice feature. I use it all the time, to be honest. Every time I need to figure something out and understand something or preset something that I'm going to work with, I just go in here, change everything, and roll back. Make sense? Brilliant. The last one, this is going to be a shit example, but we're going to do it because another thing that we need to do are you have Janos and Laura. Yeah, I'm assuming you as well got if there's a roof below, if there's a roof on a lower deck, for instance, you need to have from the facade. Maybe it's different. I know it's 5 meters in Denmark. It's 8 meters in Sweden. It's 10 meters from the facade in Germany. But you have to have the roof kind of fire protected from the facade if it's a lower roof. Same in Hungary.
Yes, we got something similar. 5 meter, as I
5 meters.
remember.
Yeah, 5 meters. So because we don't really have a roof that is below, so I'm going to use one of the balconies. The workflow will be the same, but you will select the roof instead. So it's also worth kind of noting. I'm actually gonna make this 3D view actually tabbed. So I'm gonna go here in the 3D and say tab views. So you're gonna see the 3D here. Which roof? I wanted to have a sloped roof, so it would be more fun. But I don't think these are sloping that much. Okay, I'm gonna pretend this is the roof. I'm thinking like this one because these are floors. I think this is a roof actually. I'm gonna try to grab it. I think it's a roof. It's a floor. Do we have any roof here? Floor, 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 floor. Okay, maybe we need to do a floor instead of roof. That looks kind of similar. Okay, we will have to do one floor instead. Okay, so roofs and floors. Did you guys play around with roofs in day one or the first practice, the Revit practice? Did you guys create roofs then?
Yeah, we created roofs.
Good. So you at least known as and have seen them. So
I'm actually just looking at the model and I'm a bit impressed. I'm surprised, but I'm impressed that they're using a slab edge for the for the coping of the walls.
yeah,
Yeah.
even I was like, impressed that they are doing certain things.
Yeah.
It's and I don't know why they're not using because there are actually like roof families for these, but if it works, it works. I can't blame them. I get it. Yeah. So what? Yeah, at least Janos and Laura, you have seen roofs. So they are literally like lines. Click on the lines, add a slope, a percentage of the slope, and they kind of just start sloping and meeting somewhere. They usually have quite a advanced geometry. Most of the cases that they are rarely like one slope, one angle, and it just goes off, which is kind of here. And we don't want to redraw what they have done, to be honest, because roofs are complicated to get it to work perfect or as exactly how you we're thinking the roof should be. So what we want to do is kind of piggyback on their work. Yeah, sadly there is no roof here, so we're gonna quote unquote piggyback on the floor, and I can see. So I'm gonna show you. You can't copy monitor a roof, sadly. So it's kind of we'll copy it and then monitoring it if something changed. So what we do is we're gonna just copy it because we can do it. Because a good thing though are if they would change the roof completely, we would kind of see it directly and they would mention it. And what I'm going to show you, it's so fast. It would be fast just redoing it than kind of updating the roof itself of copying a new roof. So we're going to pretend if you show the entire model that this is a roof. And it's by a facade, and we need to have it 5 meters from this side. I'm going to pretend that we have a building on this side here that goes up, and this one should be 5 meters from this wall. That would be the facade, and 5 meters out. And we need to have something here that is fire rated. How we do it is we go into 3D, we tab. You can easily here, because it's a floor, you can turn this one on, which is down here, which is called selection by face. So as long as it doesn't have a X on it, a red X, you can select by face. You can once it's kind of it's next to the kind of move symbol to the left. You have the selection by face. Then we just go into the 3D and use tab until you kind of see the roof. In this case, it's the floor. If you have down here in the information bar, you can see which category it is. So it says it's Revit links, link model, education, FSZ, number naming 1, location not shared. It is a floor, and then the name of the floor. But we can see that it's the floor at least. And we can select it, and we can say copy to clipboard, paste, same place. Okay. It's going to be selected. It copied everything from the roof. So imagine it would be a very difficult geometry where everything slopes from every point and angle. So once it's copied, all we need to do is go here and edit boundary. And I said this would be the facade 5 meters from here. All you need to do right now is do an offset with a copy 5 meters and select the line that you want to do a 5 meter offset. Because we know from, if we pretend this is the facade, 5 meters, draw a line, and then we'll have to do is, all that we need to do is just trim around that and delete everything over here. Just delete it because you get those 5 meters, same location, every slope that they have done, we get. So like if they have calculated a slope, if they pulled something, we get the exactly same thing. Select offset, numerical 5 meters, and copy. And we can just offset the line and then just trim around and cut and do whatever. Everything that we want needs to do. And then the same way, go up here and go into edit type. And roofs, I actually do kind of reverse. I offset it 1 millimeter above the ceiling, not ceiling, the roof. So I'm going to showcase this as well. So this is one has a default thickness of 327 millimeters. I usually just select one layer. I'm just going to fake this one to 90 minutes as well. The blue one. 327. And then I just delete the other layers by selecting it and just delete. So I have exactly the same thickness as the model. Sorry, the roof now is the floor, but roof itself. Says delete. I have one layer with that coloring of my requirements, the layout. Okay. Change the, once again, change the pattern here. Always solid. It should be 1, and it was 255. So just kind of remember, sometimes you can screenshot this number because here you got the RGB, but you can kind of grab that, do the same here. Then once you're finished here, go 1, and then as I said, 301. I wanted to just 1 millimeter above the it was 300, and now just risen it 1 millimeter. It's because instead of with the floors, where I don't want to see our kind of horizontal compartmentation in our floor plans, in ceiling plans, I definitely want to see this. So now in ceiling plans, my requirement for the roof has I have priority because I'm taking 1 millimeter extra higher. So when they're doing IFCs, when they're looking in the model, here it's very clear. I'm gonna delete that one. It's very clear my requirement. If you penetrate anything here, you need to have a fire stopper. If there are a hatch, some ventilation, don't go here. They will see it directly. While in horizontal, in form of slabs, it's more of here's the fire stopper. It's the connections, the cavity barriers that are more important rather. But horizontal for roofs, this is way better. Any questions? It's fine. Good. I think we can take a 13 minutes break. And then I'm thinking we can have a floor is open. Any questions? Because we managed to do all. We've done PDF, we've done
All right.
PDF, IFC, we have some, yeah, it was the last one. The only thing, after the 30 minutes, we will just deliver all the parameters now to the architect model.
Is there a chance we can check on the spread against fire spread on facade?
Oh yeah, the fire spread.
Because it's work something, I don't know, different.
Yeah, we can take a look at that as well after lunch. After after 2 o'clock, 13 minutes. We'll take a look at that as well.
Thank you.
Brilliant. I'll see you in 12.
See you in 12.
Hi, are everyone back?
All right.
Brilliant. I'm gonna just double check this one. If you jump into the chat, you can download the external file spread. I added those in the chat, like in the same group. And I even will throw in this morning's sessions, upload that as well. Once you're loaded those, mine are on the desktop. Yours should be in the downloaded folder. They're called NV external file spread, maximum percentage area, and boundary distance. They comes from this one. Ooh, which one are you? I think it's this. Yeah, so it's from this one. It's based on this standard, external file spread building separation, and everything we can do here to kind of calculation methods. These ones is based on. Where this one that you saw, Janosch?
I'm not sure. I've seen the tool in
Yeah.
the video. There's a YouTube video.
Yeah. I'm wondering. I'm gonna cheat. Here. I think it's this one. Help guides. Dense, horizontal, asymmetric, title, videos. Here we go. And it ought to be, yeah, this one. This one.
Yes, it is.
Yep, brilliant. Okay, so it is that one, but I made it, let's call it smarter. Fifth. Okay, so how does this work? So you jump into a floor plan, as always. Did you guys download it already? And then you just grab and drag and drop into the Revit. So download it. If you selected both, you need to unzip them. And then I think you need to unzip them and then just drag and drop into the project. And it will be loaded here under communication device. And we got two. And it's based on the standards that you saw just before. And we got two options here, so to speak. One is for maximum percentage area and one for boundary distance, meaning for the next building. How it works, just drag and drop, and you kind of get whatever thing you want. And if you have a diagonal like here, just go to the diagonal and use space bar so you can kind of align it to that wall. Now this wall, remember, are like side to side with the building between the building next to it. So it's like gonna, but I think it's gonna be one a good way of kind of seeing it. Did it work?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, if I go here and do a kind of section next to it, or we can move it around. So we can see here is you can drag it, and when you are dragging it, it calculates the distance for everything. It's like everything here are calculated. And if I do a section, this is going to be difficult. We need to do, I put it here, I need to put in a reference plane first over here, because I want to have it directly perpendicular with the facade. So, okay, this is no easy way. Okay, it's placed. Let's create a new work plane. I think that is, sorry, create a new work view. So we can go to view, plan views, floor plan. And I can go to work views, and I'm gonna go to entry and here. Why is that? Is because reference planes are hidden in the views for sheets by default, while here they are visible actually. Here I can draw the reference plane under, so yes, view, plan views, floor plan, work views in the drop down, and select floor plan or entry level. Go back to architecture, ref plane, and just draw a ref plane perpendicular with the component. While we're doing the ref planes are, then we can actually snap a section to the endpoints and then move it backwards. So we can, because we can snap sections to reference plane, and then we can pull it back as long as we're perpendicular with the symbol. Did you guys manage? You can go to, I'm gonna let you guys kind of do it. I'm not gonna rush it, but you can go and open the section either with in the project browser and you view section 3. But you can see the section here. If you see a blue text like this one, you have a black one, you have a blue one. If you double click on the blue one, it is actually a hyperlink. So you can double click here, and that will open the view to that section. I'm gonna turn off the crop. We don't want to crop anything. Brilliant. And turn that off. And turn on communication devices, invisibility and graphic override. So we'll turn on so turn off no crop, and then I turn on communication device so we can actually see our little symbol. So it's a communication device that we added it. Well, I made it a communication device. So here we can kind of do how far we want to calculate. Same way we could only do these two in left and right in floor plan, obviously. But here we can kind of extend, like how far will this area be? And you just kind of align it. You can move it around. And you have a kind of a bottom here, if depending where this is, like the affected area. Then, based on that, we need to assign how many square meters of openings there are in this area. This is now it's a shit example. Sorry, the friends, because there's no windows. But if you can imagine, I go here, here. So here's kind of the area that we did first. We did the complete area of the wall that we want to calculate, the spread. This is the facade. And then we need to calculate how many openings they have. And these are where they have like 1 by 1.8 meters times 8 by 0.8 meters. We can make something up. It doesn't really matter. But it's more of how many square meters do we have of openings in this facade. That would be this one, unprotected. I'm making 45 square meters. Why not? And then based on that table for this one, it will change the thickness and distance of it. You get the minimum based on table value. which create a distance of minimum calculated, which is 5.2 meters. So literally go into a facade, say how big this is, tells the component the percent, how many square meters, which will then calculate. You can see the formula under the NV calculated minimum boundary distance. You can see the formula that I added there, so you can kind of understand. And it comes from, depending on the percentage, you go into a table, hence the table value. And if you open the formula, it's a lot of it's a lot of values depending, and it's just me manually entered all the tables and formula, and that is kind of how it looks. And the idea, which we haven't done here because we haven't, this is old, but the idea was here that we wanted to include the kind of table. Now you kind of need to know the table by heart or have the standards, but we were planning on including this as an Excel spreadsheet, which we have here. You don't have, but I have. So I can kind of open this one and from this file and kind of send it to someone. But it's an Excel, so I have said it. We haven't developed this, but that was one of the ideas. If you would have it, kind of, I can go and check the values where they come from. Yeah. Otherwise, it's only UK who uses this. But you wanted or thinking of using this kind of the same thing in Hungary?
Well, between fire boundaries, we usually use similar things. So protection against fire threat. And in Hungary, we also have some regulations where we have to use lines between levels.
Can you show kind of how it looks like if you have an example?
Yeah. Need a minute or two?
Love to see. So I'm thinking. Meanwhile, I'm searching as well for. I thought I had like a Swedish example of that, but apparently, obviously, right now I can't find it. Like, I was pretty sure I had an example.
So
Yeah.
find some files. So you got things like that. So I guess, yeah, it's other fire sections.
Yeah.
So in between them, we need protection. Yes, and on the roof as well.
The 5 meters, yeah, 5 meters. can see the text.
And also there's the 1.3 meter height.
Yeah.
On the facade, we use it frequently.
That is, this is something, because we have 1.2 meters instead of 1.3 meters, because right now they only measure it. Because I've been thinking like you want to place it on an opening, so to showcase like one, and you can just pull it to see that there's no windows within that 1.3 meters, and openings.
Yes, got similar as well.
Yeah. Exactly, and that is the 1.3 meters between windows.
Yes, at least.
Yeah, and I have nothing included, but it's something I started checking. But that's something I can create for you guys, so you have it to make it easier. Just pull it, and you can pull it around, and so you can see it. And I was thinking like a dashed line in floor plan, but in elevation, you would see exactly kind of like this. Yeah, here we go. Here we can see. Did they do anything? This having too many documentation, like finding, like refinding it. I'm gonna steal the screen for 1 second. Janos. So it's kind of like this, what they usually do in Sweden. So go here. You kind of have a facade from the architects, and they usually, same as you, kind of draw in Bluebeam on top here, and all the way 1.2 meters instead, but to see that this distance all the way and measure it. And I was thinking doing the kind of the same for as a 3D symbol instead, but no one really asked, so I didn't. Yeah, so this is kind of just AutoCAD. It's Revit models from early stage 3 design. Actually been doing, yeah. To measure it, kind of showcasing that, okay, what's the distance here? But I can't find it where I had it. Huh. But yeah, so we don't really have what you're showing, Janos. But obviously that's something I thought about doing for the Swedish one, and that would just help using it for more things. Because I thought I had it as well. Exactly. I show here, though it's in Swedish. You can see it. So this is as well like for the stage 3. It's in Swedish, but less than 2.0 meters between windows. So it kind of showcase here that these are too close in this angle. So you need to have E30 at least in one of these windows because they're less in the distance of 2 meters between here and apparently here as well. Usually they would show with I would say usually they would show like with the dimension, literally measuring measuring it, but here they've been kind of lazy and just showcasing it. But this is once again early design residential resi building in Sweden. Yeah. So good and bad answer. I thought about it, but we don't have it. What you're asking for at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there anything else that we were thinking of?
Well, it's a little bit of technical question with the fire safe refuge. So the pictogram doesn't change the shape with the model element, and it makes it kind of hard to place it properly on the floor plans.
Which one? The
fire safe refuge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the pictogram stays square shape, but the model itself is like 900 times 1300.
Yep.
And it's hard to place it properly this way.
You know what? That is something I can adjust the symbol itself. I know. I will share my screen. So, yeah. I know a lot of Swedish customers have actually changed it. So if I open this one, so it's kind of like 1200, 900. I know a bunch of our customers have just adjusted the size of the symbol here because they have parameters and just kind of pull it apart so it is the correct size when they place it. But we have the correct, as you saw, we have the correct size in 3D, but in 2D. That is something I can take with me. I know how to change it. I know exactly how I want to change it.
But it's enough if I change the pictogram sizes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think, yeah. So I think I know exactly how I want to change it. That's gonna help you. I think I got a kind of a eureka moment. Like, huh? Why didn't I do this from the beginning? I got an idea. Brilliant. Laura, do you have any thoughts, ideas?
Sorry, no.
No. Olivier?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. What I would love to, because otherwise I don't have much else to show. We kind of went through all the basics, I would say. Like with for Janos and Laura, if you would have kind of an example drawings, kind of, if you have that, I can kind of create some Hungarian template for you guys, and like you feel like these are lacking. And what I usually do, because I'm guessing you kind of went through the Swedish ones. What I usually do is I place all the Swedish symbols or European symbols on a sheet, basically, so you can have all those, and you can kind of pick and choose. We will like those. These you can take away. They should be called this. Can you add these symbols? You probably have those as you showed like in AutoCAD or in Bluebeam or however, and I will just mass produce to you and rename everything so you have everything up and running. So when you place everything would be in Hungarian, and you just can go hit the ground running when you kind of have a real project.
Yes, we will discuss inside the office of what we need or some ideas, and we will send something.
And I will and meanwhile, I will send you kind of, let's call it a starting kit, so you can take a look at, these are the ones, and I'm gonna have them, the text in English, so you can understand what it says. You can go through it.
Okay.
Brilliant. If you don't have anything else, I give you an extra 25 minutes to do whatever you want. claim that you're still on the class.
I'm just interested.
Yeah.
Have you thought about the some models, for example, fire hose cabinet?
If we have it, or
I didn't see model. Yeah.
for yeah, sorry.
I only see the pictograms or scene.
Yeah.
But the cabinet could be interesting as well with, for example, the doors. So you can check for clash between architecture element and the fire hose door.
Okay, so yeah, say okay. So okay, so once we clash it with the doors. Let's say doors, and those would basically be. It's more of data components for doors. We have a lot of information of what the door needs as an architect. But let's take a look at clashes. I can do like this. So, just a random question. Do you guys use our Autodesk Construction Cloud used in Hungary a lot or scarcely?
Well, we use another CAD that's not developed by Autodesk.
So it's mainly ArchiCAD, like.
It's ZVCAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can confirm that the Construction Cloud is not as used or like widely used as of now.
Then you can. So okay. So this is kind of a model that I showed for another customer. So what you can do. So this here. Yeah, I can show. I forgot to show that. So here's kind of a model. Once again with Swedish ones. The difference here, actually, what we can do, make the wall compartmentation kind of thick. In this case, I made them 1 millimeter thicker than the walls, so you can clearly see, kind of see through it, where the walls compartmentations are. You can easily do this in Revit. They're already prepared, all the families, everything like that, so you can kind of turn this on and off. By default, we have just slim. Basically, no one asked for this, but I like this more. But so basically here, what I've done is just added more thickness on them. And there's a parameter called NV width that are on type level. You can make them instance, but you can make them as thick as well. So if you go to global parameters, I have one that you can control everyone if you want to make them just fast. All walls should be 300, and you would literally see them pop in 3D, especially with IFC. But here I used the same model that you saw a picture. I showcase kind of clash detection, and I'm showing how you can work with it with ACC. I can go. I will talk while I do it. It's a short video. It's 1.5 minutes. Let's roll. So okay, in Solibri or any kind of clash detection work, what you do is you basically create some rules. In this case, I create a clash detection. You select kind of what components you want to check. I already here selected all the wall compartmentations, our families towards duct. I found 259 clashes, penetrations of all these ones. But as you can see, it's kind of ridiculous how you see those, kind of because they are one by one. So what we can do is we can start grouping these per, what I did at least, grouping them per a wall compartment, per wall that you have. So we went from 260 to 40 different clashes. You can kind of see all the penetration in one. From these, we can just select all of them, right-click, create an issue. That means we will create an issue for individually all these, but we combine them as these 5 groups are one issue. Add a good title for that penetration. That's what we do. You can add more information, what you want to say. I don't. It's more of creating 82 issues. It's not. The MEP, or in this case, mechanical engineer, they are in their Revit model. They will open issues within Revit. They will see all those issues directly here. Once they click on this, they get obviously a photo, and you get a kind of a shitty view from this because it's going to grab the entire model, select it, and zoom in the middle model. But we can then just use the selection box to crop around this penetration. And what I always say, open a floor plan and have them side by side so I know where they are, because this 3D view where we crop means nothing. But by having this, you can kind of go through, you can do your changes, and then I will pause here in the very end here. Once you're done, you just go, it's just not an open status, we fix this. In this case, they would add a fire damper and stopper, and they can go through them one by one, never needing to kind of open it. They just do it in Naviswork, right? You saw how fast it was of 1.5 minutes. Get all these, they open, and they can just go one by one, fix whatever do, write a comment, and they can kind of have this. And everything is stored in the cloud. When you're working with Archicad, for instance, with IFC, what's going to happen then is we can do the IFC do the same thing, but what's going to happen, especially when we're talking about clash detection, more technical things, whether they're using Solibri, BIMsite, Naviswork, you name it, kind of clash detection. What they're going to produce is what's called a BCF, a BIM collaboration format, that you kind of have third-party applications to read those. Oversimplified, that is a text file or HTML file with 2 coordinates where camera should be and where camera is looking. You get a photo, you get some connection to if it's hosted on like BIM Collab or a third-party site. You can connect that to an issue, you get some information, and you kind of go through them one by one. It works, quote unquote, the same. The only difference is you need to create this BCF format, like an open format. But otherwise, it kind of looks the same. But ACC has this, Autodesk Construction Cloud has all this built into the one and the other. While the doors itself, we place a bunch of components around them. We could technically place one component and have all the parameters that we think, okay, this specific door have these requirements. We don't do really a clash with the door itself, but the architect can pull the information and they will have all the requirement on that specific door, meaning not complying with your requirements should be very difficult, because they would literally have the door select that. They would try to, in their drop down, select the door that fits your requirements. And if they fail, it would be madness. Because if they say we're done, can you check it? You guys can then just create a door schedule, include element from linked files, and you will see all the parameters yourself. And we can start sorting and checking those. So we could see, okay, but we have a min clear width of 1.2 meters. What kind of size of all the doors with 1-2 meters are they? We can kind of go through it. I think I have it in this one. Yeah, I have it in this one. So this is, once again, it's Swedish, so it's mumbo jumbo. Bear with me. But here is one project in Sweden, one door, and this is all the information they actually enter. And these are kind of what I say, like we had in this project, they had this fire rating rec, acoustic rating rec, security rating rec. With those requirements, they need to kind of select all these that are affected by fire, everything from height, min clear opening, evacuation route, min clear width, is the door could be open automatically, all those things that we can have requirement on, door closer, you name it. But so they doing mistakes is kind of understandable. A lot of here is like none, but because there is no requirement. But in a real project, this is a real project from one of our Swedish customers. This is within the architect model. It's all the doors in that project. Just by having 3,427 doors in this project, think of all those parameters that you saw. They have to enter all those manually. If you just take a look at min clear width, which we have here on the right-hand side, we don't have the requirement of min clear width. we don't have their free passage, meaning width minus frame minus door panel, whatnot, but we have the total width in this model, and we can kind of go, okay, this one, this is not going to make it. This is going to make it. So you need to check this one. This one was wrong with these. I don't know, but the architect can check 3,427 doors. We can do it in seconds. Same with this one. This one's not going to manage at all, because this is the min clear width. This is the width, just the width of the door. But just doing a head count, we know this one not going to make it, maybe. But the architect, this is the architect's job. We provided the requirements. Now it's very easy for them to check, 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 check. And when they're done, we can do the same kind of schedules and do the same check and say this door, this specific door. So instead of rechecking our requirements data, we just check the doors because we're pushing all the information on the door. Longest answer to your question, Janos.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, but this is once again a real example how they used it, the architect. And this project, I think the fire engineer delivered 4 or 5 parameters, and they spent way more time as a fire engineer. But because we're talking about the compliance check of 3,400 doors, usually you get those kind of drawings instead, and you kind of go through them one by one, and it's madness. But by doing this, they had min clear width, they had fire exits, door requirement, obviously, and I think they had door fitting. Should it be one-handed or two-handed? And re-entering, I think, as well, being able to re-enter for accessibility reasons. Those 5 were the 5 parameters and it took a long time for the fire engineers to enter this data, and the architect was so happy. The clients, the building owners in this case as well, were so happy. I was like, oof, all the information is there. It's very clear when they go into facility management. Yeah, I don't think I have any more pictures from that now. Yeah, but yeah, it's possible. We have, yeah, we can show here. I can show here as well because I have it here. So in here we have in manage global parameters. I did like this, like if you want to make it super simple, instead of making, we can kind of do it as an instance. So you kind of go through each one of every walls, because we take the wall thickness when we place the wall requirements. We know the thickness, but it's a text-based. But we can do like this. I want all the wall requirements to be 300 millimeters. We can change it from one place, and I connected it to everything. So it's going to go through the entire model. It takes a few seconds because it's going to update a lot of things, even things that are not placed. And it's going to update the geometry of the entire model, whether it's one wall requirement or 2,000. And you're going to see, and by doing this with the IFC, both from the architect and you, your fire requirement will be so visible for everyone, especially mechanical engineers when they're kind of designing. It's very easy to see your requirements. And everything is updated in the thicker manner. You can visually see it. But this is quote unquote relatively new. No customer asked for it. Everyone said they liked this thin ones. I like this thick one, so I kind of made it anyway. I thought this is more visually pleasing, especially with IFC. In Revit, it's fine because we can see the dashed line within it, but with IFC, this is much better. So you can kind of do this, export everything, and then jump back if you want. It's also possible. I stole 15 minutes from you guys. Kind of almost on time. Any other question? I'm here. 10 minutes more. Otherwise, I will stop the recording. I will do kind of a PDF for you guys. I will put in all the symbols. If there are anything you feel like you missed or missing out from those, just holler. Olivier, I can include you in that email as well, so you have that. I'm gonna do the European ones. There are a bunch of different German, Dutch. Like we have more symbols that you might have taken. I know a lot of Danish symbols that they have. They're like a copy of those in the German ones. Which they have kind of their own thing. Same with the Dutch one. But so it's so many symbols within every template. But I'm gonna do the European ones. If you feel something, I have kind of an idea if I've seen this before, so I know where to look. The Croatian one were really specific, I would say. A lot of them were one-offs. Same with Finland. They have symbols that I never seen anywhere else. By the kind of German, Dutch, Danish, they're kind of the same. I've seen as well some Polish ones that are as well very similar to the German ones. Yeah, me babbling. Yeah, I will send you guys, and I will send you an example as well. I will do the kind of the belt, let's call it the belt that we can place and how it can be used. So you can see that as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah, nice meeting everyone. Yes, yeah, reach out if you have any questions, and you will get in the link that I sent you in the chat. I will upload the second video as well in that. So you just go there, you can download. I'll pull everything in there, so you can just download as you go. That link gonna be active for 1 month, so yes, you can save it if you want, if you forget to download or something like that. Brilliant. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend as well.
Yeah. See ya.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you guys.
Hello. See you.
Bye.
Bye.